I want to take a few minutes to walk you through how to set up your group page, which will be the way that other people can find your group as we promote it from the church, or you can point people to it, send a link out via social media or email to those that you know to invite them to it. But this is how they'll be able to see what you're studying, when you're meeting, and be able to sign up for your group. And then you'll be able to also continue to use it throughout the group if you want to post resources or to keep people in the loop about events happening in your group. The LH Groups team, will go ahead and create your group page for you. We'll get it started, and so we'll make you the leader of it, which will then that'll send you an email that looks something like this. Basically, it'll say you are now a leader of, and it'll kind of have a group name there that's related to you and what you're doing. So if you just go to the bottom here and you were to click that blue button, it's going to take you to a page here, the login page. Your username will be whatever email address that previous email was sent to, and then you may already have a login password from other things that happen in the church, whether that's giving or if you're on one of our movement teams when you have to log in. If you don't have a login, you can just click the Need a Password button. Once you do get logged in, it's going to take you to your group page here. And so I just want to show you a few basics about how this group page works, because you're going to use it for several different things throughout the semester. The first thing is just to be able to see your group roster, and that's what this page is here. The Members tab kind of shows you your group roster. Now, I preloaded this just to be able to give you some examples, but when you first log on, yours is probably just going to have you as the leader, and if you have a co-leader, it'll probably have them as well. And you'll need to work through adding members, which I'll talk about here in just a second. Really, the primary way that members get added to your group is when we open signups. People will be able to request to join. And on this same page, kind of right up in here, you'll start seeing requests come in. It'll give you their name and some info, and you can either add them, or if for whatever reason you need to decline them, you're able to decline them as well. Now, if you do have somebody that you need to add manually, you would come over to this green button right here and click Add Member, and then you could just type their name in. It could be even just kind of part of the name, and it'll kind of load up here, and you can see, okay, here's somebody that I could add. And so you can do it that way, add people manually. You're also able to communicate with your group from this page. You can email people. So if you click this little mail icon, that's going to want to send an email to everybody in the group that has an email address. You can also pick and choose. If you just want to send an email to a couple people, you can kind of select them here and then hit email, and you'll see it only adds those people to the email. From there, the next thing you want to look at is down here on this settings tab. So here's where you can kind of really shape what your group page looks like. Now, because this semester everybody's going through the re-curriculum, we've made a few changes to it. So we really want to follow this naming format here. And so we filled in part of it for you when we created your page. So anything that's in brackets here, that's something that you're going to change. That's something that's customizable. Everything else we just want to leave as it is. So we want them all to read A Guide for the Disconnected, this little line, for who it's open to. So if it's open to women only, we would put for women. If it's men only, for men. If it's open to anyone, you could put for anyone. So on and so forth. If it's married couples, et cetera, et cetera. And then the last part is we want to put with, and then in the brackets, you can enter in you as the leader, your name. If you have a co-leader, put both of your names. If you're a married couple, you could put, with the Corbins or something to that effect. But these areas in brackets, you customize and then just leave everything else the same. If you are one of the exempt groups who's going through one of the things that's been pre-approved, such as financial peace or divorce care, something like that, you can just replace this initial section with financial peace or divorce care or whatever your area of focus is there. Now, as you're doing this, as you make changes, dialogue's going to pop up. You always want to make sure you hit that green save button before you move on. The next part is the meeting schedule. We really want to try to keep these all the same as well. And so in the brackets is something that you can customize. Outside of the brackets, we want to leave that the same. So day of the week you're meeting, that's pretty self-explanatory. Time, you can just put the time your group starts. You don't need to add when you end, just the time your group starts. And then location, what we're really looking for there is, are you meeting in person, or are you meeting online, or are you doing some sort of hybrid where it's in person and online? Just fill that section in with either online, in person, or in person and online, just so people can very quickly at a glance as they're scrolling through the pages are able to see very clearly what the topic is, who it's open to, who are the people leading it, when does it meet, and where does it meet. And then from there, there's a few other things you can customize. This image thing here, you can upload your own image. We really want that to be a good, nice picture of you. And if you have a co-leader, you and your co-leader, there's something real relational about having a picture where people can kind of connect with you in that way. So you want to make sure it's kind of a horizontal video landscape kind of picture of yourself. And if you have a co-leader as well, you put that in that area there. You can also fill out the location section, create a new location. This will not kind of pinpoint your exact address, but rather show kind of a general area for people to be able to know generally where your group is meeting. If you're meeting online, you can click the virtual thing. You could put your Zoom link in here so people have a quick reference for how to connect to your meeting. The next thing to fill out would be this contact email, who's going to be the primary person to respond to any questions that people might have about your group. You can go ahead and fill that out with whoever that might be. And then lastly, we kind of pre-filled out your group description for those of you who are doing the recurriculum. Again, if you're doing one of the pre-approved exceptions to that, you can go ahead and replace that with what describes your group. But a few things to highlight here after this description of what the recurriculum is. A couple things we really want you to, again, replace what's in the brackets. Are you having childcare? Yes or no? And then put in the name of your Love Week project, whatever it is that you picked. We kind of gave you the list of things that were on the application, just as a reminder. So you could just, leave Love Week project, and then in the brackets part, fill out what the name of your project is, just so people can have a list of that. So that's the basic idea. Again, if you make any changes here, you just want to make sure you hit that save button. The next thing we want to look at is this events page. And this is really important. This not only helps make sure your group members know what time things are happening on a regular basis, or if you're doing a special event, but it also helps in terms of tracking attendance, which is very, very important for us as the LH Groups team, so that we can make sure we're making wise decisions about groups based off of real, accurate information. So you can create a new event by clicking this green button here, and then just fill out, a simple event name. It can really be the same thing as your name up here. What day is it starting? What time does it start? What time does it end? The end date should be that same date that it started. It's a one-day event. And then you want to make sure you click down here and select, are you meeting weekly, every other week, monthly? Yearly isn't really an option, but you want to pick one of those. And if you hit weekly, it's going to ask you, okay, when is it repeating to? When's the last day you're meeting? You don't have to do a description here, but whatever description you do here is what will be sent out in any event reminder that goes out via email to your small group. You can choose to have an event reminder go out anywhere between 1 to 10 days before your event takes place. That will just send out an email that gives kind of whatever information is in this description, and then it has an option for people to RSVP. Yes, I'm going to be there. No, I'm not going to be there. Maybe I will be there. You don't have to do that. If you don't want that reminder to go out, you can turn it off by clicking the little toggle switch there. But it can be helpful if you're trying to get an idea of who's coming at any given time, and also just to remind people of important information. Then you can just click Create Event, and that will create all the events between the start date you picked and the repeat until date that's selected there. And then you'll be able to see that it's going to show you, hey, this one starts on June 6th. Each little green dot represents an event, and you can see each event here. And as you take attendance, it's going to show you the status of that as you go down week to week as these events happen. So you'll be able to get a good idea of how many people have been attending, and just kind of see the status of each event. When it comes to attendance, you will get a weekly reminder about 10 minutes before each group meeting starts. You'll get an email asking you to take attendance. Please do that weekly. If you missed the email or anything like that, you can always come here, click Take Attendance. It's just going to take you to a page where you just click off the names of the people that were there. If somebody new came, you have an opportunity to add them. You just hit Submit, and that turns it in, and then you're done. Another thing you can do on this page is see your public group page. You can click this button right up here. That's going to take you to the group page. This is what people will see when they come to look at your group, and you can copy the URL there in the bar. You can copy that and paste that into social media to invite people or send people an email, but you can use that link to point people directly to your page. Again, thank you so much for leading a group this semester. If you have any questions, please let us know. Groups@lighthouse.church. Thank you very much.